Hey everybody, hope it's going well. Today has been a pretty great day for Planet Zoo. A lot has happened. For one, update 1.13 was announced, and we had ourselves a special live stream teasing the next pack. And so there's a lot to talk about, and we will talk about all of that in this video. But to keep it on the simple side, I am going to focus much more on the live stream and kind of briefly go over the update. I still want to talk about it because it is important, but at this point I feel like most people have read through the update and we know what we're getting, but you know, I do want to go over it because there's some people out there who might want a quick summary in case they haven't been up to date. So yeah, before we get into the live stream, let's quickly go over update 1.13. This is a pretty solid update, all things considering, and a pretty great start to the year in my opinion. First off, we have a new animal interaction mechanic. This is something they're calling animal sociality. To quickly summarize it, it's basically just a it's more of an overhaul on how animal group dynamics work in this game. It's pretty cool in my opinion, and you can read through all this yourself on the screen here with the text. There's a whole lot to it, honestly, but for me, I just really appreciate seeing them continue to try and make the animals more and more realistic. It's always appreciated. Then after that, we also have null paths. This is a big one. People have wanted null paths in this game for a long time, and it is really cool, but there is one unfortunate thing. It has been confirmed that the null paths are only ground paths and will not be elevated. You will not be able to have elevated null paths, unfortunately, which is a shame, but I guess, you know, it would kind of defeat the purpose. It's just, I assume, you know, in the game, when you raise a path, the curbs come up, and the null path has no curbs, obviously, so really you can't have it lift up, or else, you know, you guys would just be walking on air. Now, that would be awesome, and I personally would want to see that, but I can understand why Frontier wouldn't want it to be like that. It is exclusively ground path, unfortunately, but regardless, null paths are great to get. And then after that, we have the multi-axis advanced movement. I feel like the best way to summarize this is just by showing you guys this footage from the live stream today. They kind of quickly show you how this is going to work. It just is more of an advanced movement option that I think is great to have. It's a great quality of life improvement, especially for the builders in this game, so that's great to see. And then lastly, we have climbable asset toggle. Basically, climbable objects are now going to have a toggle on and off option, so you can choose whether or not you want a piece to be climbable or not. And this is really going to help with animals escaping your exhibits. If you've got, you know, a barrier to, if you've got a climbing, sorry, let me back up. If you've got an object that is climbable that's too close to a barrier, and an animal can go onto that and jump out of your exhibit, you can now turn that off and keep the animal from escaping. So it's another great quality of life improvement. So yeah, all in all, update 1.13 is another really solid update, especially compared to the last one. I think this is a much bigger, much more interesting update, and so, you know, full kudos to Frontier here. I always appreciate how they find new ways to improve the game. It's always appreciated by everyone, so once again, great to see. I'm looking forward to the update. Alright, now getting into these special live stream. Let me just say I always love when they do these. It's always very fun and interesting to see how they tease us with the next pack. You know, in the past they've done Lego building, they've done pot painting, they've done campfire stores, and now this time they have done a boat cruise, like a fun casual cruise down the river with Tim and Lydia, and eventually Dave when they save him from the river. It was really cute and fun and amusing to watch, and it was a creative way for them to kind of tease the next pack, as well as talk about update 1.13. So there's a lot to take away from it. I feel like unlike other live streams, this one definitely leaves a lot more left to be interpreted, so we will do a lot of that in this video. We are going to interpret what they teased, and then not too long after we're going to find out what this is, because of course tomorrow, at the time this video is coming out, the new DLC should be getting announced. Of course it will. And also, forgot to mention, but whatever the next DLC is and update 1.13 are coming out on April 4th, the day we suspected, so that's great to see that they are continuing with the the Tuesday before Easter schedule. So, getting into the actual live stream now and just kind of talking about the exciting stuff, for me, I am taking away 3 big points of interest. We're going to go through each one of them and kind of talk about what they could mean. And so let's just get right into it. The first big one is the environment, as well as the scenery. So they are clearly in a tropical environment with what looks like Southeast Asian architecture in the background. This could mean a number of different things. For one, it definitely suggests that this is a you know, a scenery pack, which we don't know for sure yet, but it does look like a scenery pack. It's just interesting, the Southeast Asian architecture. Of course, we've had a Southeast Asia pack before, just with no scenery like this. You know, and I doubt they're going to do, you know, specifically Southeast Asia. They're not going to say it. Of course, they could still have that architecture, but what this suggests is an islands scenery pack, in my opinion. This is evidence towards an island scenery pack, but at the very least, this kind of confirms that it's some sort of tropical pack, or at least it's going to fit with that whole, you know, tropical time of the year. It's always around this time of the year, that we get a warm climated or tropical pack, as we have now for 3 years. So this looks like another one. So that's interesting. Again, it's not exactly clear. Again, this suggests a scenery pack. It suggests islands, I think, but we don't know for sure. And then the other big point of interest, the second one, is the animal sounds. Now this one is honestly really hard to interpret. I wouldn't think they'd make the animal sounds so hard to figure out, but they genuinely were. We had the first one, I really don't know for sure what it was. Many people have suggested that it's a primate. Apparently it sounds like a primate. I guess it does. It doesn't sound like any one that I've heard, but apparently it sounds like for example, langurs, which is a Southeast Asian primate. So it would make sense if it was that, but I really don't know for sure. But at least with the second sound, we have a little bit more to go off of. At first, when I heard the sound of the second one, it sounded kind of like it actually reminded me of a hippo. I've heard some people suggest it could be a crocodile of some kind, but then someone pointed out that not too long after the sound is made, Lydia, bless her, she accidentally said the word hogs. She said, because right when the sound came up, Dave was interrupted, and then after the sound happened, she's like, so Dave, keep going, you know, after you were interrupted by the hogs, and then she stopped and was like, oh shit, my bad. So yeah, it looks like she accidentally said the word hogs, and I think it's pretty obvious that there's some sort of hog in this pack, whatever it is. Now there's a few different options. The big one that many people are going to want, and I think the one that all of us are thinking about, is of course red river hogs, another big iconic animal that has been long requested that could be in this pack. And if it is a red river hog, that definitely suggests some other things. I feel like if this is to be a red river hog, if that's what that sound was, that would kind of ruin the idea of an islands pack. Because up until that point, this was looking like an islands pack. But if this was a red river hog, that kind of ruins it. Because again, red river hogs are, well, they're not island animals, they're from Central Africa. That doesn't necessarily mean, well, I mean, it's still tropical, but let's just say if it is red river hog, we could be looking at a rainforest animal pack. It's totally possible, but maybe it isn't red river hogs. Another big option, and I think the next best option, would be the Visayan warty pig. This is one I'm actually very familiar with. I love these guys. My local zoo has them. This would be a really cool swine to get. These guys do fit the Southeast Asian island themes and would again fit an islands pack. So, you know, it could be Visayan warty pigs, it could be red river hogs. It's hard to say, but it does look like we're going to get some sort of hog. But yeah, now again, that's just what we could interpret. It really is hard to say. The sounds are not clear at all. So again, lots to think about. And then lastly, we have the third point of interest, and of course this is the big one, the letters. You know, if you take all the letters, which I believe in order was S, A, S, O, F, if you take all these letters and put them in a certain order, you have a Fossa. So yes, it looks like Fossa are joining Planet Zoo, which is great to see. These guys are a very big and up-and-coming animal, very long requested, that will add some great diversity. Of course, from Madagascar, they are the top predator of that island, and that's awesome to see. It probably really what sells this being an islands pack. But regardless of what the theme is here, it's great to see Fossa join Planet Zoo. I'm looking forward to seeing them because they're a very unique animal. One of my favorite things about them is that they're a great example of convergent evolution, you know, which is where an animal evolves similar traits to an animal on a very different part of the world to fill the same niche. So in this situation, Fossa have become the top predator of Madagascar in the same sense that a cat would, a large cat, despite not being related to cats at all. You know, they're similar, but in truth, they're actually more related to civets or mongooses. But again, they fill that niche. It's convergent evolution, and it's really cool in my opinion. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Fossa. I think we all are. It's going to be a great animal. And that is pretty much it for the live stream. It's honestly hard to say what exactly the next pack is. There's just a lot to take away. We've got, again, tropical environments, Southeast Asian architecture, some sort of primate sounding sound, and then some sort of low bellow that apparently is probably going to be a hog, either Red River hog or maybe Visayan warty pig. And then of course we have a bunch of letters that come together to spell Fossa. That is what we've got, and it's just a big mixture of exciting stuff. Honestly, it is exciting stuff. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this next pack is. Please let me know what you guys think all this means and what you thought of the live stream. We should be finding out very, very, very soon what this is at the time this video is coming out. It should be, again, announced the next day. So that'll be great to see. I will cover it when I can. Unfortunately, I am working when it's going to be announced, but is what it is. I'm just looking forward to the next pack, as I hope we all are. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video. Again, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.